I'd like to welcome everybody to the Week 6 Career College Success Seminar Self and Career Assessment Podcast. This is the Week 6 podcast. So far, we're coming up to the midway point in the term, and this gives us a chance to sort of evaluate where we are so far in the class. So this week, what we are going to be talking about is some of the specific goal-making traits that are very important. We're going to be talking about SMART goals and how you can set goals for yourself in both your personal life and your educational process. From there, we're going to be working with two specific tests, and they're not tests as in they're going to be graded. They're tests as in to find out what types of not only learners you are. This is sort of a throwback to an earlier discussion that we had on learning styles, and also your personality type. If we go over to the materials and resources folder, what you're going to see is a few videos that I've put on here and one website that's going to help you get a little bit of a background on what these tests are. It's very important this week that you view these website and videos prior to taking the test. Without a little bit of background knowledge, it's going to be difficult to maybe understand why some of the questions are being asked in these tests. So please take the time to view the videos and view the website. The website will be about the SMART goals. It's very visual friendly for those of you who like to read your instructions. And then we have a couple of videos, one on SMART goals, one on the VARK learning styles, which is the first test we're going to take. You may have sort of had an idea earlier in the term as far as what type of learner that you were, but this VARK learning quiz is actually very useful, and I learned quite a bit when I took it about the ways that I like to learn. The reason that I want to do this week is because I'm hoping that once you realize the way that you like to learn, and as you take the test, I think it'll become clear on some of the preferences that you have just in your daily life as far as how you process information. Then you can use this information going forward as a way to seek out specific types of information. You know, one of the things about online learning is that even though the professor is going to sort of aggregate a lot of different things, grabbing links, grabbing video, and doing other things like podcasts or if some of the other professors do video. There are still other ways that you can approach learning, whether it be going out and trying to find information on your own to cater to your learning style. So what I suggest is when you're done with this quiz, you might take a screenshot. I know one of the tests you can actually save your results to come back later. And again, what I would suggest doing with these is making sure that you are seeking out learning, the type of learning that you work best with, even if it means maybe having to do a little of your own research in an online space. The second test that we're going to take this week is the Myers-Briggs personality type test. It's going to ask you about what you'd different things that you prefer to do, how you approach work, and things like that, and it'll help you figure out the type of personality you are. Again, I think when you're taking the test, it'll become sort of evident the type of person that you are, and again, it'll help you understand a little bit more about yourself, and in the bigger picture, help you establish these SMART goals based on the type of person that you are. So these are the two major things that we're going to be doing this week. One of the things that I did want to point out is that it's very important to take notes while you are doing these tests. I can't stress that enough. That's going to help you writing your reflection for the week. The reflection is very specific as far as what each paragraph is going to discuss. So I would, when you're taking these tests, just have a sheet of paper next to you, or your notepad open on your phone, or your notepad open up on your computer, and just take some notes as you take the test, just what impressions that you get, sort of what things did you learn about yourself. I thought it was very interesting how some of the things that I actually learned about myself and sort of opened my eyes to the way that I go about teaching as well as the way I go about my personal life. So that's what we have going on for the week. Like I said, we do have these two, I want you to get a little background with the website and video, and I want you to take these quizzes and take notes while you're taking these quizzes. So when it comes time for your HABE reflection assignment, that you have plenty of notes to do that. I think one of the things that I'm wanting to talk about today on the podcast is just some feedback from your reflections. In grading the reflections over the last couple of days, I'm still noticing a few things that I just want to give you a heads up on. Now, this certainly isn't everyone. Just some things that I've noticed overall in the class that I wanted to bring to your attention. First, I'm still seeing some issues with formatting. If you're someone that's had some issues with formatting, I highly suggest that you just shoot me an email, just because I want you to have full knowledge of what the expectations are in formatting here at the school. Another thing, I think some of us are getting a little hung up on the 300 to 500 word essay, because some that maybe just are just above the 300 word threshold are still being a little too brief. Now, is it possible to, give me a perfect essay in 300 words? I suppose it is. But also one of the things is when you're talking 300 words, you're not even taking into consideration the heading, which is probably, a good couple sentences worth of words. And overall, just some of the ones that are a little bit shorter on the length are just not hitting all of the aspects of the project. The reason I bring that up is this week specifically, we're asking you for 5 paragraphs, and I do need you to answer all of the questions posed. For example, in our reflection assignment, paragraph 1 is going to be to take one of the words that you see, habits, attitudes, beliefs, and expectations. That's what the HABE reflection stands for. And define it in your own words. And use an example from our class to support your definition. The second paragraph, you'll talk about your personality type. The third, you'll talk about your learning styles. Paragraph 4, you'll talk about an overall reflection. Paragraph 5, you'll talk about how you can take action on this. I want you to make sure that you're backing this up with reflection from the tests. So if you try to take your tests without taking some kind of notes, this part might be a little difficult unless you do it literally right away. So overall, with the reflections, I'm just not seeing as much depth as I would like, and I would love if we can continue to pull as many class concepts from the week and put them inside of our reflections. That being said, overall, the reflections are going quite well. We're going to be doing these most weeks for the rest of the way, so it's important that you keep up with that. Last thing I want to discuss today is about the announcement that I made on the announcements board earlier last week about your professionalism and participation grades. As I noted on the announcements, there's a few different ways that I'm going to grade this. First and foremost, are you participating in class? Are you submitting your work on time? Are you doing the discussion boards well? I know some of the discussion board posts that I've read have been quite brief. I know some of the discussion boards that I heard are quite brief, and I'm really hoping that from now on, when we have the discussion board, that we're going to be putting a little bit more time into those. Also, a submission of non-graded activities. There have been several different things that we've done while not having been graded, still important to the class. So if you didn't turn those in, obviously that'll hurt your grade as well. And finally, making sure you listen to these podcasts. I know that it can be a little bit difficult, maybe a little time consuming to listen to these, but I do these because I really want to be able to have an open communication with you. And without listening to some of the things that I talk about here, you're doing yourself a disservice. I do set enabled statistics. So each week I can run a report to see who listened to the podcast in its entirety. And the same goes for some of the videos and web links that maybe, while not necessarily have an assessment with them, still are important that you view. So I'm going to post those this week. Now, overall, for the participation and professionalism, you're going to get a grand total of 30 points. So we get 15 from weeks 1 through 6, and we get 15 for the remainder of the course, weeks 6 through 11, for a grand total of 30 points. So that's about what a typical reflection is worth. So just keep in mind that this is a very important part of the class, and just keep doing what you're doing going forward. And the biggest thing here is, if you've got questions, if you're not quite sure why you got the grades that you did on this participation and professionalism, please contact me. For this week, I do have office hours 8:40 to 11:40. Should any of you want to, or AM on Tuesday, Thursday, should any of you want to contact me about questions you have about our work, grades that you've gotten, or what your participation professionalism grade was about, please just shoot me an email, and then we can make arrangements to chat on the phone. So that's what we have for week number 6. I wish you the best of luck on not only this class, but in your other midterms that you may be having this week. And hopefully sort of registration has come and gone. It seems that everybody got most of the classes that they wanted. So again, one of the things that I pointed out, please make sure you're reading the comments that I send back on your reflections, because for many of you that had questions, I gave you some further insight on where you can go to get more information. So that's going to wrap it up for the week 6 podcast, and I look forward to hearing from everybody this week.